Okay, so we have a pretty cool rare, one that I think is pretty good. I mean, there, you know, it does say you lose the game on it, but it also gives you a 4-mana 6/6 flyer that does stuff, and you know, before usually it'll win you the game before you lose the game. It's probably wise to have a sack outlet if you're going to take this guy, but other than that, we've also got Kinker Bloom, which is a great card. Flensing Raptor is a really good common. I think that's pretty much it for cards in this pack I'd consider taking highly, and I think we'll take the Archfiend. We also want to proliferate. We want to get some proliferate going to minimize it killing us. So, okay, so Cinderslash Ravager is a pretty good signpost uncommon, but I don't feel like it's so good that I want to like grab it here. You know, when I've taken a card that's in a different color entirely with our first pick. I think we're mostly looking at Volt Charge and Mere Convert here. Yeah, those are the two cards in the pack really worth a look. The Convert will make it in like any deck we play, and it fixes our mana, it ramps us. Turn 3 Archfiend would be pretty fun. Volt Charge, I think, is maybe a little better than Mere Convert, but it's also not colorless. So I think I go ahead and take the Convert. Woo. So this is a really powerful card. Ovika, Enigma Goliath. You do have to end up in the exact right deck for it to really deliver. And I don't think it's that much better than the Archfiend. I think it is better, but I don't think I take it here. I think I'm looking more at Contagious Vorak. Like, it is just a really good common. It proliferates, which we're interested in, and it's a really good, you know, you can gain life with it too. I think it's just the best card in this pack, probably. Gleeful Demolition and Bone Picker Scourge are fine, but I think Vorak's good enough that we grab it here. Let somebody else jump in the blue-red deck. Okay, so here's Charforger, which I like a lot. Here's a potential sacrifice outlet for our Archfiend if it's about to make us lose the game. Magmatic Sprinter is pretty good with the Archfiend as well. Hive Master is really good. You know, in our last draft, we took 2 Charforgers. Didn't end up getting to play them. This time we do already have Fixing, which matters. Yeah, the Skitterling is really good if you're good at getting poison going. It's hard for me to want to pass Charforger, though. I think I'm going to grab Charforger in the end. Lots of good cards in this pack, though. But I like Charforger enough to take it here. Okay. Crucible of Worlds, or Conduit of Worlds, is interesting. Like, if this format was grindy, this card would be pretty good in the late game. Vat Emergence is interesting. These are both cards I'd like to try. We do have some, like, better green cards here that are going to be, like, more consistent performers, I think. I'm more sure of how good they are anyway, with the Basilisk and the Growth. Probably don't have as high of a ceiling as either of these. But yeah, this pack's pretty weak, generally speaking. We do... Oh, no, never mind. This isn't the one who can search up our Convert. I think I'm going to take the Crucible, and we're going to see what happens. I'm interested to play with it. Okay, so the Justicar, I think, is quite good. I think that was confirmed by how things went in our last draft near the end. Predation Steward and Copper Longlegs are both fine. I'd probably take one of them. This does proliferate, but it's, I think, a significantly worse card than Predation Steward, so I'm going to take the Steward. It is funny, like, if we get Terramorphic Expanse or Spheres, we can do some silly Crucible Conduit of Worlds things. So here's the Mirror Kinsmith, which does search up the Convert. Rustvine Cultivator does fix, but I don't like it very much. I mean, so slow. If you're in green, fixing is actually pretty reasonable in this format. I think we probably just take a Prism. I mean, this is an interesting blue card to still be here, but I think we'll take the Prism for now. Not sure where we're ending up this time. I guess we weren't really last time either. We were sort of thinking about black and red and red and white, and then we ended up in red-white. Okay. Interesting. So yeah, these are going around, and I think that's just because they're not very good. It's not, like, if we end up with enough Proliferate, it's not terrible, but man. Trawler Drake is pretty good. Shrapnel Singer, if we ended up going black-red, is perfectly fine. Maybe I just go for the Rustvine Cultivator. I mean, I think Trawler Drake's a better card, but it just doesn't feel like that's where we're headed in this draft. You know what I mean? I think we'll take the Cultivator. I do want to try out Noxious Assault, too, but if you're not already reasonably good at poisoning your opponent, it's not that good. I think we'll take a Sphere here, especially because we have a Conduit. Sort of makes sense. Okay, so Cinder/Ravager is starting to look like it might work. You know, we could be green-red. Another one of these. Gleeful Demolition's not terrible. We have pretty good fixing, so we could be red-green, Splash Charforger. What do you mean multiple 3-color decks? There have been lots of limited formats where you can play 3+ colors pretty consistently, if that's what you mean. So this does put oil counters on things. This likes oil counters. I think I'd rather have the creature. All right, we'll take a Splitter. Could be worse. Same for Hazardous Blast. Could be worse. This I don't think is very good and limited, unfortunately. It is a cool card. But, yeah. So another Magmatic Sprinter. We are ending up in an oil place. So Magmatic Sprinter is interesting. Sylvok Battle Chair is a card I like. Yeah, I think we take Magmatic Sprinter here. Are we going to be red-black, or are we going to be red-green? Are we going to splash Cinder/Ravager? I don't know. Black, unfortunately, doesn't seem that open anymore. So we are sort of ending up in a different place where maybe we don't play our Archfiend. Either way, I think we take the Sprinter. Ooh. So I wish I'd opened this, because I would have definitely forced mono red in the early access event. At this point, I think we'd be in a lot of trouble if we took it and forced mono red. He might still be okay. I do think he's fine in a 2-color deck. He's just not amazing. What else do we have in this pack? Do we just want to take him? I kind of think we do. Give him a chance. Yeah, all right. Let's do it. Man, nobody's in blue, huh? Because Unctus is pretty awesome. So we're doing oil counter things. So I think Koldothic Cackler doesn't look bad. It doesn't really feel like black is open enough to play our Archfiend, sadly. We can splash Charforger, which likes oil counters, and so do several of our other cards, but I don't think... Yeah. So I think we're red-green. I think we take Ruthless Predation here. We could take the Expanse because we have the Conduit. It also fixes our mana, but I think Predation's good enough that I take it here. If this weren't here, I probably would take the Expanse over Cackler, but I think we'll take the removal. Okay. I mean, she's not a great Planeswalker either, unfortunately. Especially when you have no good equipment to speak of. Yeah, I don't love it. I don't love the idea of taking her here. especially because there's an Oil Gorger Troll, which seems to be... I think we're going to be sort of a red-green mid-range type deck that has a bunch of oil counters. It'll be interesting to see if we can weather the storm of the aggro decks in the format. I'm going to play the Oil Gorger Troll here. Oh, we would have liked that in our last deck. So there's another Troll, but there's also a Hex Gold Slash. I don't think we can pass that. Okay, another Ravager I think has me interested. Yeah. This does feel like it might be a decent shell for the Conduit. Yeah, somebody's getting a Sweet Boros deck like the one we had last time. I kind of doubt we're going to play the Cultivator in this deck. I mean, it does do things with oil counters, so maybe we will, but... Wow. So, yeah, here's a War Whip, which we had a lot of fun with in our last draft. I think we take the Slinger. You know, decent 2-drop that can remove some stuff. Works for me. Don't really want more than one Rustvine Cultivator. I feel like it's probably one of the worst, like, 1-mana mana dorks we've ever seen. Like, the fact that you have to put an oil counter on it first, and then remove one to untap a land, and then... get another oil counter on it before it can do it again. Like, even with Proliferate, like, that is rough. Ooh, I think we're in a good spot for Brask's Anointer right now. I should probably count how many oil things we have at some point, but I feel like it's a fair bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... That's all, actually. We kind of need to pick up some more cheap oil things. I mean, 5's not bad for halfway through pack 2, but we definitely want more than that. No, I don't think there is a way to make a land tap for 2. So we do have the Skull Bomb, which I think is kind of interesting for our deck. Like, if there's a deck for it, it might be this one. I think Chimney Rabble's a better card overall, but yeah, we'll go with the Skull Bomb. Okay, so Free from Flash is not a bad trick. Furnace Strider likes oil, though, and I do think we need a little more of that. So, Furnace Strider it is. Kind of hope I don't play Volshock Splitter. All right, I like the Cackler for what we're doing. I probably do end up playing one Cultivator in a deck that's this into oil. Okay, so you like equipment, you're a sack effect. Well, I think we probably take the Aspirant. It is a 3-mana, 2/3 menace, though. I think if you have very little equipment, it's probably not worth it. I mean, I don't think we want to run Sky Scythe Engulfer in this deck. It's just like the Ravager's a much better card overall. All right, I mean, that's a nice trick, I think, the Crescendo. Okay. So, we have a few oil cards here in red. The green card's not very good. I mean, these red cards aren't really either. Some nice cards here. I mean, Ambassador, Blade of Shared Souls, pretty good. Skull Bomb's not terrible for us, I guess. Like on the splash. I don't think I love it, though. I'd probably take Axiom Engraver. I don't think we're going to be good enough at Sawblade Scamp, like getting at oil counters. Yeah, no. Not so much. So I think I'd rather just have another 2-drop that comes in with oil counters because we have enough cards that check for them at this point. Red Sun's Twilight's interesting, but I kind of think Contagious Vorax just better. Like, if your opponent has artifacts, this can be insane, but it doesn't line up that way often enough. I think we probably just grab another Vorak. Yeah. The Voraks are just so good. Sort of fixing, too, you know, since we are planning on splashing Charforger. There's another Prism here, which isn't bad. Copper Longlegs. I mean, it gives us a 2-drop, I guess. It can proliferate, so it can add oil to things. I'm not that excited about it, but I think I'd probably rather have it than another Prophetic Prism at this point. Probably not really a Hazardous Blast deck. I don't think we're going to be an aggro deck. I mean, we're going to get on the board early because one has to. But I think we're more of a mid-range deck that wants to get value out of Oil Gorgers and Cinder Slash Ravager. This pack's pretty interesting. So, the Monumental Facade, if I wasn't splashing a third color, I'd probably consider it, I guess. If I really need more oil counter things. But I am running a third color, and there's also a Predation Steward here, which cheap card that comes into play with oil counters is probably where I want to go here. Ooh, that's really good. So, man, this pack... How does this pack have Infectious Bite and Evolving Adaptive? Oh my god. I mean, I think we're more into the Adaptive just because of what our deck looks like. But Infectious Bite is really good too. But we're taking the Adaptive. 1 mana, 1/1 that just gets oil counters. Oh man. Alright, so I think we're there enough on oil counters that I want the Ravager. Again, I could take the Expanse, but I sort of feel like with our 2 Vorax, our Prophetic Prism, and our Mere Convert, we're doing fine on fixing for our Charforger. And I guess there's a chance we just don't play the Charforger, depending on how things line up here. Especially with Koth, it does get a little awkward. If I want to play Koth, I'm in trouble. Another Magmatic Sprinter, another Oil Gorger Troll. I do like you both, but I think I like the Sprinter a little bit more. Yeah, I think we probably do cut Charforger. We have enough oil counters without it now. In which case, we probably... There's probably some things we don't really need to run anymore. Yeah, I kind of doubt... I mean, the Spore Singer's okay. Can add some oil counters to stuff. I guess that's fine. I don't really want another Furnace Strider or Blazing Crescendo. Mono red. Unfortunately, we have... Well, it's not really unfortunate, but we have a lot of good green cards, so I don't really think I want to do that. I probably don't need to run Rustvine Cultivator anymore either. How are we doing on non-creature spells? We've got 2 instants, 2 sorceries. All of our... We have a Planeswalker. Yeah, we're not doing well enough. So I think we just grab another Shrapnel. I guess I'm going to take it, because I'm not going to play a second Shrapnel Singer either. Alright, we'll take this 2-drop. I feel like we got there in oil. I mean, a little more might have been nice, but, you know. Titanic Growth is a nice trick. The Toxic trick that was in there is good too, but obviously we're not that good at using it. I wonder if I'm just going to end up trimming the nonsense out of this deck. And by that I mean like our Conduit of Worlds. Yeah. Didn't we first pick something in both drafts so far and then not play the card? Our last deck turned out okay, so can't complain too much, but... So, I'm not sure we really need the Prism anymore. I'm not really planning on splashing anything anymore, so I think we cut the Prism. Conduit of Worlds, I mean, with only 1 Hunter Maze... No ways to mill myself. Don't know how much I like it. It does give us, like, a grindy thing to do, I guess, in the mid to late game, which is cool. I probably leave it, just for fun. So how many cards with oil do we have? I need to check that before I make any decisions here. So we have 1, 2. It's not going to be great, though. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I mean, I think we're in a pretty good spot with it that from here, I probably cut things that don't make oil. Like mediocre things with Proliferate and Shrapnel Singer. Like, I probably try to go as hard as I can on Synergy. Like, we don't really want the Batter Fist. I think if you're not getting that much equipment synergy, you probably don't want the Batter Fist. Spore Singer proliferates, which is a thing. But yeah, I think we probably cut it. Do I just want to cut Shrapnel Slinger here? I probably don't need both Titanic Growth and Blazing Crescendo. I think I like the Growth slightly more. I mean, I like that the Crescendo can draw you cards, but the buff it offers isn't as consistently good. Yeah, Koth might get cut. I probably have to cut one of these nonsense cards. I mean, he's not terrible if I can really run 9 mountains. But I don't think we want to. Like, in a world where we have Vorak, we probably end up playing more forests because this can find mountains. Probably don't want Gleeful Demolition. Of course, all of this has made Sawblade Scamp a lot worse, so it may be worth cutting and going down to 9 oil cards. Because we have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 cards that trigger it right now, and we're probably cutting at least 1. So, yeah, probably lose the Scamp. And probably lose Koth. Yeah. He is a little better with our Proliferate and stuff. But I just think in terms of the number of mountains we're running, we're just not going to get there for him. And this allows us to be mostly focused on oil. And we're still running one sort of silly card that it'll be fun to try out. So, I mean, I could consider cutting like Shrapnel Slinger, I guess, and leaving in Koth. Maybe I'll do that. Yeah. Let's try Koth out. I mean, we're only going to have 8 mountains. Maybe he's going to suck, but it's early access, you know? So let's cut Shrapnel Slinger. And now our deck is pretty focused in on oil shenanigans. And hey, if a mountain ends up in my graveyard, I can play it. We have 2 cards here that are a little bit awkward to have in our deck, but they're both interesting at least. And interesting is good. At least for content, you know? So I think we ended up in 2 decks where we got a fair bit of synergy. Koth. Oh, boy. So we can cycle this away. I think that does make this a keepable hand. Maybe. We do know we have 9 green sources in our deck. So drawing one with the help of our Skull Bomb, at least, is pretty likely. Yeah, let's keep it. We need these mountains for our Koth anyway, you know? Alright, so we're going to do this. Kind of hope I hit a forest. We do not, but we do hit Mirror Convert, which can produce green. All right. There's green. So we can go Evolving, Adaptive, Convert, which is pretty good. Yeah. So if I draw land, I can play the Ravager and kill their 1/1, which is pretty good. I think they proliferate here to give me a poison counter. No, they wanted a land. Okay. Well, I've got 4 mana. I can play Koth if I want to and tick him up to 6 loyalty. Don't hate that. If I play Axiom Engraver, though, this will be a 3-power creature. Also lowers the cost of our Ravager, who's pretty good on this board to begin with. Yeah. Let's play the Engraver here. And I think we attack with the Evolved Adaptive. If they block, we use Titanic Growth. And they do block. So now we don't even need to draw a land. We can just cast Cinder Slash here and kill that. You can also cast Koth and kill it, but I think adding this to the board is probably a little better. They went hard on multicolor, whatever they're doing. Yeah, that's pretty gross. Not loving that. But we're up to 3 mountains for Koth, which is interesting. So I can play Predation Steward and then cast Ravager for 3? No, oh yeah. I have to pay 2, but I think that's fine. Yeah. So we'll attack with the Adaptive. If they want to block now, I think we're all for it. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. We are, like, way ahead on board, so Koth doing his thing is actually possible. We'll see what happens. Don't hate them paying life. I don't love that I'm at 3 poison, because now things with Corrupted are active. There's a Blightbelly Rat. Thank you for the sub, Nightmare. Thanks for the follow, Jixad, CAX117, and Camus. Okay. Am I just supposed to play Koth here and kill Blightbelly Rat? Probably. I think so. It'd be cool if they accidentally proliferated. Looks like they may reanimate something here. Or get something back from their graveyard. Either one. Interesting. So they must be able to kill the steward somehow. Double-headed fist. So you go to 4. Okay. Conduit of Worlds. I could cast my Skull Bomb from my graveyard, which is kind of funny. So we're going to search up a mountain.
We have the high ground.
They have to block Cinder Slash Ravager. They don't have to double block him if they don't really want to, though. That said... yeah, I think we attack with both of these. I could rummage this away, but having Koth's removal ability online for 4 damage next turn is probably just better. So... So they get that back, which is pretty good. I'm gonna need another mountain to win on this particular turn. And now even that doesn't quite get us there. Do I want to throw away my conduit? What happens if I play conduit? I kind of think I should rummage away my conduit here. Especially now that I don't have double green, so... yeah, we'll throw it away. Draw another card. Shoot. Yeah, that is not so good. I do have the ability to rummage again, I guess. So I will. Interesting. So... if I buff this, it's still not big enough to take down our Ravager. I could kill the Siphoner and then save Koth for a turn so that he can kill Cinder Slash next turn. Assuming they don't have removal or something. Okay, so I can Ruthless... yeah, alright. So we're gonna have to +2 here. I think I'm gonna go ahead and kill Pestilent Siphoner in my turn. We in trouble. So yeah, I think we want to block. Okay, so now we can do this to kill Cinder Slash Ravager again. End our turn. Koth plus Predation, like, was a thing, but then I lose Koth, so I'm not sure it was worth it. Alright, so they do deal with Koth, but they're at 2, and all they have is a Fleshless Gladiator. And I drew a Magmatic Sprinter that they're going to have to block. I guess I actually want to put the oil on Axiom Engraver, because they can just block it if they want to here. And if I put the oil on and they have to. And if I put the oil on Axiom Engraver, I could potentially draw some cards later, at least. They go to 1, which means they can't bring this back without dying. So that works for me. Koth did perform pretty well here. We also were, like, way ahead on board, and that's the only reason. But hey, yeah, that's way too slow. They decided to end it with their own Fleshless Gladiator. Yeah, I mean, if you don't play... If you play Koth in a situation when you're not way ahead on board, he's not going to be very good. But, I mean, like any Planeswalker, we were way ahead, so he ended up, you know, killing a couple things and drawing us a few cards, and it's pretty good for 4 mana. Pretty good. All right. That's a pretty good hand. We got some Contagious Vorak value, removal spell, combat trick. It would be nice to draw like a 2-drop or something, but you know. There's Koth again. we don't have anything to do. Maybe they'll play something we can kill on their turn. Nope, looks like they whiff on such things. Okay, so we're up to a third mountain. If I can find another mountain with my Vorak trigger, which Vorak and Koth are kind of interesting together. If I can find another mountain with our Vorak trigger, then Koth starts to get really good. And I do think that's what we want to do. Nice. So, play Koth when we're ahead again, kill their creature is like a very real outcome here. Or if they kill our creature, we just play Koth and +2 him. And then we can potentially get to his ultimate, which is pretty funny. Yeah. Do I want to just play Koth and start the... I also have Proliferate in my hand. Let's do it. The only bad news is we have so few mountains that his ultimate's only going to trigger like 3 times or something. But, you know, worry about that later. Okay, well... That person technically broke the rules of early access, but that's okay. You're not really supposed to scoop until lethal is presented, and we were quite a ways away from that. But we'll take the win, so we will take the win. Back-to-back Koth wins. Yeah, that's still 12 damage. No, and I was going to hold on to that mountain, too. I mean, there was no reason for me to play it until we went off. But yeah, I mean, when they were that far behind, Koth coming down is pretty good. There are going to be people in the YouTube comments for this video telling me I was wrong about Koth to give him a C+. But I'm sure eventually we'll see why I gave him a C+ in this draft. So... We just haven't gotten there yet. Okay, so it's very hard not to keep this hand where we have turn 1 adaptive, turn 2 steward, 2 oil counter cards online. We can play Vorak and Proliferate or try to find a mountain. I mean, it's a very good start even without a mountain in the opening hand. Yeah, you don't need the ult for it to be good, but you do need to be ahead of your opponent for him to be good. And that is key. Okay, we drew red, which is nice. Let's play our Predation Steward, buff up our Evolving Adaptive. I don't really want to trade the Adaptive, because next turn I can play Vorak and Proliferate. Which is going to be pretty awesome. This also is going to be pretty great. The 1 damage is going to kill the Mandible Justicar, which is pretty sweet. I do think I may need to block the Justicar with my Steward, but maybe I just wait things out. Take the 3 here. Yeah, okay, we're going to take 3. Alright, so yeah, we go Vorak. And we proliferate. Oh, I can decline and proliferate. That's how it works. Yeah, I think we decline and proliferate. I'm going to attack with the adaptive. I may just trade off Predation Steward at this point. We'll have to see. I don't love trading it just because I know I can kill that with the trigger this turn. So we're going to kill both of these with triggers. We are about to take 7. But I'm okay with it. I do like the blue-white aggro deck from what I've seen so far. We haven't drafted it yet, but I like when I have seen it. Yeah, so let's play the Ravager. Wipes out 2 creatures, and then we have an attack with Vorak and Evolving Adaptive. Planar Disruption, okay. Do you also have an artifact? No. Poison. Okay. Thinking I just attack with everything here. Yep. Sending 10 damage your way. Is it going to be better to play a Trampler that's going to get +2? Yeah, I don't think so. They're going to trade. Take 6. Then we'll play another Ravager, just because it's so big that it's a problem for both of their creatures. We don't get to kill anything with the trigger there, but... Nice. I mean, both decks we drafted today, we ended up with multiples of a Signpost Uncommon and then a bunch of other, like, assorted synergy, and they both looked pretty good. I mean, you know, it's early, but the red-white deck was very similar to this one in terms of, you know, having Signpost. This deck is definitely more of a mid-range than an aggro deck, especially for this format, but, you know, because we're not really winning the game until we cast our big oil payoff, you know. We don't have a third land, but I think we keep it. Hexgold Slash should keep our opponent at bay enough early for us to find a third land or a 2-drop or whatever. Well, we really need that third land, please. If we get a third land, we probably get a fourth land thanks to Vorak. Okay, well, we did draw a 2-drop, so I can live with it. Well, they're going to let us scry, which may help us find a land. Ugh. Got to put you on the bottom, buddy. I know you've been big for us, but we really don't want to draw you right now. There we go. There we go. All right, so... Could attack and threaten to use Titanic Growth, but it's just better to play Vorak. And we will happily grab a land here. Thank God I could scry Koth away there, otherwise he would have been an awful draw. So thanks to our opponent for helping us out there. Interesting. So with this much mana up, the idea of using tricks and the like is... scary. I could play Magmatic Sprinter, put the oil on itself, but that doesn't seem that good either. So I think we just attack with the Vorak and then decide something else to do in our... Figure out what we're going to do in our second main phase after that. If he would be bad, you scry it away, yeah. You know, if that was part of the card, like if Koth is on top of your library, scry 1. I guess they could do that with, whatchamacallit, the, Alchemy. You know, as much as everybody hates it, that would be kind of a cool effect to have an Alchemy. I think it would probably make a card too good, though, if you could always scry it away. Like... Especially if they designed it to be a card that you really want to scry away sometimes. I wonder if our opponent had a disconnect. We haven't had one yet today. We had one earlier today is what I mean to say. I said like the opposite. So do you think they're going to try to use a trick here? If they do, we might be able to blow them out with Titanic Growth. Like, if that's their plan here. But if it's, like, the indestructibility trick, then we just end up trading, like, 1 for 1. Alright. They decided not to block. Do I want to play Forge Hammer? Because if I play Forge Hammer, I can play the Sprinter next turn, put the counters on this, make that unable to block, and that seems pretty good. I think that seems pretty good. Interesting. So that's what they were holding there. We would have blown that out with Titanic Growth, so they were wise not to block and use that, because it would have been backbreaking. Alright, so you're just a 2/4. Makes me a lot less scared of you. Though it does make my plan here a lot less impressive. Well, so my plan was play Sprinter, put the counters here. Oh, I can make them both unable to block, can't I? Wow, so I can swing for 10 here? Fascinating. And then I can do it again next turn? Okay, this is pretty cool. Oh no, never mind. I should read my cards. It only makes one thing unable to block. Two oil counters makes one thing unable to block. Might still be worth it with Titanic Growth in our hand. It probably is. Make the 4/5 unable to block and just swing out here. If they block, we blow them out with Titanic Growth. I mean, it's not that much of a blowout, I guess. But it does kill Orthodoxy Enforcer. I don't lose anything. And, yeah. Pretty good combo. I don't feel like there's... I guess there's a few cards that use more than one oil counter. But, yeah. So... target the Enforcer, huh? Yeah, maybe that's just better. Because if it forces the block with the Custodian, we're killing a more... problematic card, so you're probably right about that. Pretty gross. And next turn we can do it again. Although we don't have a trick next turn. Oh, man. Okay, well. That does make life a little more difficult. Oh, wait, it has Infect. So I can just kill it with Hexgold / Toxic. I keep saying Infect. Who doesn't, you know? We could just play Furnace Strider too, but I think killing this and getting another trigger is probably better. Should I play an oil card first to get to choose Proliferate? Yeah, probably, yeah. So we want to go Magmatic Sprinter. Put 2 oil counters here. Hexgold / your Annex Sentry. Proliferate. Attack with all 3. This reminds me of Energy, which was a pretty good mechanic for Limited, where you had these like silly combos like this. But it was a horrible parasitic mechanic for Constructed. So hopefully this just is good in Limited and not horrible for Constructed in terms of like breaking an entire format. Yeah, so far things look pretty aggressive. I would agree with that. I mean, that's how it looked in the set review. 1.5 drafts in, that's how it looks now. So, yeah, thank God they allowed us to scry Koth to the bottom there. Ooh, This is not... This is the danger of this kind of deck, where you, like, with Cinder Slash Ravager, if you don't draw cards in the right order, Cinder Slash Ravager is awful. So if I, like, don't draw any oil cards for several turns, very bad. Now, the good news is I do have this, which would let me put oil on anything. The bad news is I don't have anything to put oil on. So I'm trying to decide if this is a mulligan. I mean, the good news is I can cycle this away. It's probably still a mulligan, though. We need things to... Yeah. Oh, it wasn't even just... Yeah, that's the thing. It wasn't just Aetherworks Marvel. That was one deck. All right, I feel much better about mulliganing. Yeah, I think this is a keeper. I'm kind of thinking about putting growth back. This doesn't feel like a hand where I'm going to be that good at being aggressive, frankly, despite having a 2 and a 3 drop with haste. I think I'd rather hold on to the bodies and Koth. Well, now playing out a 1-3 here is going to feel pretty good if we can Ruthless Predation. Venerated Rot Priest. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel like they put anything particularly busted in this set in terms of... oil, but, you know, it's... It is a parasitic mechanic either way, and it's kind of a weird one, I think. So we're going to go ahead and kill Mandible Justicar. This way we have a pretty clear board for Koth to come down next turn. So... Oh. So much for my clear board. And I don't have a mountain, so I can't kill the 3/3. Yeah. So I don't think... I think that means we are, in fact, not playing Koth now. Because they played Malcator. I think we probably play the Vorak, and we probably want to find a mountain if we can. I mean, I could play Koth. I could use the +2. He'll be at 6. He'll take 3. Then I can +2 again. That's really not that bad. I think I'm going to play Koth. Yeah. He may not, like, win us the game here, but I think he's going to give us some good value. Almost no matter what, he's still going to be alive next turn. So, we also have Proliferate, which helps him if we want to get to his ultimate. Like, if for some reason... Oh, no. Koth's worst nightmare. It's a 5 toughness flyer. Man. I could get to his ultimate next turn, is the funny thing. Now, the bad news is... I wouldn't have his ability to search up mountains anymore. So, I think we just let him take the 3. Very sad. Another Vorak is interesting. So... we could kill the token here, but obviously, like, if I play Vorak first and Proliferate, I can kill the token and keep Koth alive, but then they kill it with the Sentry, so who cares? Yeah. So I think what we want to do is just +2 again.
I'll never forget the hope we lost.
Play this mountain, play a Vorak, and I think we Proliferate here. Yeah. So put a counter on both of them. So if they can kill my Vorak here, I think we're in trouble. Next turn, I can play Sprinter plus Vorak, which is kind of exciting. But we're not doing a great job here of pressuring them in general. Yeah, it is interesting. They didn't even give us a rare or a mythic with +1/+1 counters. I mean, it is... They are really, really good with Proliferate, so it makes some sense. Ugh, gross. Yeah, Amonkhet was cool because there was a -1/-1 counter deck, which is not something you see that often. So I definitely block the Golem here. See if we get a trade or if they use a trick to blow us out. Ooh. Well, it doesn't quite blow us out. It does make Koth sad. Ooh, and they get a 3/3, so never mind. Yeah, we're in trouble here. I'm trying to decide if I want to discard this mountain at this point. I kind of think we do. Koth just isn't going to be able to kill anything relevant before he dies, unless I find removal or something, so... Yeah, that is not so good. Yeah, if we could get our 1 damage creature on board, we'd be in better shape. We're still staring down a 5/5, unfortunately, but... Alright, well, we will grab another mountain. I don't quite have the mana here to play the Skull Bomb, and then if we hit our 1 damage to everything card... like... We're not quite going to have the juice for that. Because it would cost 5. So... I think we probably just want to play both of these. Lets us develop out our board a little more. Yeah, so let's play the Sprinter. It's going to put the oil on itself this time. Then we'll play the Vorak. And we'll Proliferate. Probably going to discard the Hunter Maze here, but... We are seeing the blue-white aggro deck do its thing. Why would you not have thought blue-white artifacts would work? It's like an archetype in the format. It's usually safe to assume that most of the archetypes are going to work. At least, oh my god. At least a decent chunk of the time. So doing 1 to everything is pretty good, but we still have to deal with so many flyers that I'm not sure it matters. They've only had 2 artifacts enter so far. I probably should block. Yeah. I really need to draw one of our guys who will wipe all their X1s off the board, which is everything but these 2, which will also weaken this significantly. So, yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Throw away Hunter Maze. Another Magmatic Sprinter. Conduit of Worlds. Doesn't do a ton here. We could play Koth again, which is hilarious. But I think it's probably better here to play Furnace Skull Bomb and try to hit... We need to draw... We have 3 of them, right? Where are they? That's not one of them. Well, that's a bummer. I do have a land in my graveyard, which is hilarious. But I think we're in some serious trouble, so it's not going to help that much. Our Magmatic Sprinter is going to return to our hand, which is just great. Well, let's get in there with a Magmatic Sprinter. Would I rather play another one than Predation Steward? Yeah, I mean, Conduit of Worlds Mountain is kind of interesting. We're just going to take so much damage here if that's what we do. But I can actually go Conduit of Worlds. Never mind, I can't also get the Spell Bomb. Thing is, I need to have 2 oil counter things in play to have a chance here, I think. So... I think we play Predation Steward here. End our turn. Magmatic Sprinter comes back. We're going to have to dig for the X1 killer. But, like I said, we're still facing down these flyers that are doing a lot of damage right now. Okay, so we're going to use this now. I think we got to discard the Conduit. We just don't have time, which is not surprising. Oh. Well, we did draw a useful card. And we kind of want to kill this before it ever attacks us. So we'll go ahead and kill Escaped Experiment. Not that worried about poison. Maybe I should be, but I think killing Malcator to make sure none of that stuff happens again is a good idea. God. So that means we're dead. Yeah, just couldn't draw one of our 3 copies of our guy, you know, and that is what we needed. Lethal damage. That card would have been so good on that board. Would have reduced the damage we're taking a turn to like 4. I mean, we still probably die in the long run, but yeah, Koth wasn't nearly as good there, which isn't too surprising. Two sort of not great cards in our hand at once, but I mean, I do think it's a keep. We have both our colors. We do have a 3-drop. We have no, now we have a 2-drop. If we can get our Cinder/Ravager online, we'll be in business. Well, I think Predation Steward might be dead. No? Still alive. That's good. I did hydrate. I'm always hydrating. Don't love that. Interesting. So if I play Magmatic Sprinter here, put the counters on it, next turn I can play the Ravager. Or they block, you know, and trade for one of these things, which I think is fine. So let's put the energy counters, the oil counters on that. Attack them. Next turn I can play Ravager. Yeah, well, I think the Conduit's probably pretty bad and limited too, but I wanted to try it out, basically. Same with Koth. I don't think... I mean, Koth is probably... I mean, he performs okay in a 2-color deck. The Crucible's only good late, basically. Like, in the late game, it's insane. But how often do you actually reach the late game in this format? Well, let's hope they don't put another oil counter on that so I can just kill it with my Cinder/Ravager here. Oh, wait. This doesn't have an oil counter anymore, so that's not going to work. Shoot. What? Yeah, that doesn't work. Sad. That is sad. Skull Bomb, put energy on that. Doesn't really accomplish anything. It keeps saying energy now. Oil. Oil. Okay, so let's play Forge Hammer Centurion here. Unfortunately, there's a pretty good chance... They may already, I guess, have the ability to turn this into a 2-2. Guess we're about to find out. I think we attack with both of these. See what happens. The reason I play Forge Hammer first, by the way, is because it will get oil counters when these die. So, if, when, whatever they die. Yeah, they must have something here. So, yeah, that'll buff this to a 3-3. These two still kill each other, though, which kind of works out okay. And then we get oil there. Then we play Furnace Skull Bomb. But this is now a big problem for Koth, obviously, and Conduit of Worlds isn't doing a whole lot either, unsurprisingly. Having both of these in our opening hand, in a hand where we don't have a bunch of early drops, is not great. It's not great. Alright, that's why they were willing to do that, because now they just get that back. Okay. Well. Koth does not do much here. Neither does Conduit of Worlds, though it has a chance to do something eventually. Not looking good for us. Yep, the format does feel fast. It did, reading the set spoiler, and it does, having played it now too. Do I want to attack with Forge Hammer Centurion? Do 3 to... No, I can't do that, because then I won't have anything with oil counters. I've liked the way red, white, and blue, white look a lot. And green, white, so a bunch of aggro decks. Yeah, I think we probably play Cinder Slash Ravager here. In the very long run, I would get my creature back, yeah. Removal here is very bad for us. They can play this and give it flying, attack us for 7. Yeah, I'm not liking that. Yep, people are winning with... Oh, God. Yep, you know, in the set review and the archetype guide, I was like, any non-creature spell that has Proliferate is going to feel absolutely absurd with Trawler Drake and the like, and it does. Okay. Well... all they need is one non-creature spell and they kill us. I guess maybe distracting them with Koth is the thing we have to do. We're going to draw a card here, see what we can do. Don't have a land in the graveyard, right? Right. Let's play Koth. Why not? Yeah, we have to block or we're dead, and we're maybe dead anyway, so. Any non-creature spell kills us. Oh, they could just give flying to the Paladin, so we'll let them do that. Man, we, like, dominated our first few games. We had games where Koth was, like, amazing, and we didn't draw our Conduit, so it's not a big surprise there. I think Koth is fine in a 2-color deck. That's what I said in the set review. That's what I said here. But yeah, he's definitely not great. You know, he's not a Planeswalker who takes over the game. He's a Planeswalker who's pretty good at parity or if you're ahead, and horrible if you're behind. So, performing about how I expected. Gave it a C+ in the set review. You know, if you watched our first 2 games, you probably would have thought Koth was the best card ever. So, but we also played him every time, like when we were already in really good shape, and he was able to seal the deal. He's definitely better if you can go pretty close to mono red, but yeah. All right, we haven't seen this at all, man. I forgot this exists. Didn't we have games where this would have just ended the game? The Urabrask's Anointer. It's going to be pretty good here. We're going to be doing at least 1 with it pretty early, and maybe more. Yeah, he does start with a lot of loyalty if you +2 him right away for a turn 4 Planeswalker, and that does make him a little more interesting, maybe. We'll definitely be going for a land with our Vorak. Well, that's something I can kill with Anointer. I could also kill it with Ruthless Predation. I don't think I want to, though. I think I'd rather play the Vorak here. We get a land, and I think we want the land more than we want another counter on Axiom Engraver. So we're up against red-white aggro. That was the deck we started the day with that felt really powerful. You know, better than this deck, certainly. But I also wasn't running 2 sort of wacky cards. I don't think Koth is that wacky, frankly. He's just not amazing, you know. He's basically as good as a 4-mana 4/4 creature is. Which is fine. You know? Like, he's just not amazing. So we could play the Anointer next turn and kill this. Obviously, they hold on to the equipment, so we don't get full value, but the fact of the matter will still be that we didn't use a whole card either, because the Anointer will just be fine. So, stick around as a 4/2. Yeah, this looks like our deck from last time, doesn't it? And not in a good way. Not in a good way for us, anyway. Yeah, they can move this around for free now. I kind of hope they put it on the double strike guy so I can kill it with my Anointer. That would be cool. They did not. You know, because of Koth, it's almost worth it to hold on to mountains when I don't have to play them. Yeah, so I think... what's going to be the best thing to do here? I think we'd probably play Anointer. Kill this. Attack them with our 3/3. Which they can trade for with their token, but I think that's fine by us, you know what I mean? Like... Alright, so they're planning on doing as much, like a bunch of damage this turn by putting the Batter Fist on this, probably, and maybe some other equipment's about to show up. Otherwise, they would have traded their token. Interesting. It's kind of already done what it needed to do, so that doesn't upset me too much. They can equip this for free right now. That was a fun combo we got to enact on in our deck. I don't think they realize they can equip it for free. So we're going to take 6 here. Which is less than ideal, but the good news is I can just kill this thing with Ruthless Predation. So we'll take a hit here. We have to consider whether they have the 1 red mana trick that will give this +2/+2. So I think that means we need to fight with our Vorak, or the Anointer, I guess. The Anointer's even safer to fight with. Although Hexgold Slash can kill it in response. Alright, so let's play out our Forge Hammer Centurion. I probably use it on the Vorak. The reason I want to play this first is in case things go really sideways for us here. +2/+2 would be bad, but they would still both die. I'd get an oil counter, so. Oh, they had Rebel Salvo. Yeah, that is very bad. Very bad news. Rebel Salvo in response. Well, we're going to attack for 1, and I think we probably lost this one. I think we probably lost. I guess I shouldn't have attacked because looting is probably just better. Yeah. We'll go ahead and block this thing and take 6. Yeah, so I should have left it untapped so I had a Rummage. Yeah. This deck definitely wasn't as good. Running the 4 mana artifact was bad. It, like, never really had situations where it helped. Yeah, it is funny how we've been so unable to draw our 6 mana do 1 to everything. Like, we drew it a lot early in our first couple drafts, first couple games, but now we just can't draw it. Yep, that'll do it. 4-3 in our second draft. I think we started... Did we start 4-0 with this thing and then just drop 3 in a row? I think we did.